Welcome to Marriott MBA Today. I'm your host, Frank Chou. Some BYU MBA students get to invest other people's money to learn how startup companies start up. Reporter Hailey Shauklas shows us a business class that puts students in the real world of business investment.
Yeah, Frank, this class really prepares students for their futures. They learn a lot of valuable lessons about investing. I went and visited the course and found out just how rigorous it was.
Cougar Capital is actually the reason I chose to come to BYU to pursue an MBA.
Tim Hansen had offers at other business schools, but chose BYU so he could take this class. This is MBA 665, Advanced Venture Capital and Private Equity Strategies, commonly referred to as Cougar Capital. These second-year MBA students review the portfolios of early-stage companies and determine if they deserve startup money, kind of like ABC's Shark Tank. But in this case, the MBA students are the sharks.
In the world that we all live in, there's no perfect information. There's no exact right answer. And so what we learn is we learn to make the best decision with the best information that we have.
Gary Williams founded the Cougar Capital class 8 years ago. He teaches the students what to look for when evaluating a company in order to make a good investment. Then he turns them loose, not just on paper, but real dollars that come from outside donors.
We started with $600,000. We've grown it to over $2 million. And we co-invest alongside private equity and VC firms on live deals.
Today, a company called EcoScraps made a presentation to the MBA students. They make organic soil foods and wanted investors to produce and market their product.
What's the consumer's response to that? The consumer experience of putting their...
The majority of MBA students voted to give funding, while only a handful voted no.
To me, the real measure of success is the companies they don't invest in, because there's something wrong with them. So, for example, a few years back, Intel Capital. Intel is very successful. They have a lot of cash. They want to invest in some new startups, and they pitched an idea to our students. The students were really excited to be co-investing with Intel. As they started scrubbing the numbers and looking at the project, they started realizing this really isn't a very good idea. And so in the end, they had to go back to Intel and say, thank you, would rather not. And then Intel started thinking, I wonder what they saw. And they asked the students, and it turns out Intel had made some really fundamental mistakes in their valuation, and the students caught it. So to me, the big success is not only the companies they invested in, but they've learned how to pass when they should pass.
Students in Cougar Capital learn how to make real-life investments. They say the process is rigorous, but they learn to work together as a team.
Former Cougar Capital students like Goal Zero's CEO, Joe Atkin, know how valuable the class can be.
The other thing that it helped me do is gain context in the whole investing market. So whether it's venture capital or private equity, to me those were fairly vague concepts. And it gave me context.
Hansen and his classmates enjoy scrubbing numbers. He says it helps them learn a lot more than they ever could from a textbook.
Cougar Capital in a lot of ways is a capstone to the MBA program. In different classes we focus on specific aspects of a business, whether it be marketing or finance or the human resources related issues. In Cougar Capital we really get a look at a company holistically and understand that company from all different avenues and apply all the things that we've learned in our careers before coming back to school, as well as the different disciplines that we've studied here as MBA students.
Williams says the foundation of the class revolves around teaching correct business principles, practicing those principles, and then implementing them.
I always teach my classes on three levels: knowing, doing, and becoming. Cougar Capital is a becoming opportunity because you actually do it. You invest in companies. We work with firms who we learn best practices from. We're pretty agnostic as to stage and industry, so we get in a lot of industries. We get in a lot of different stages of investment, from seed through early stage financing, growth equity, buyout, and then we occasionally get into a mezzanine financing, maybe an exit through an IPO or an M&A.
Hansen says Cougar Capital is not an easy class, lots of homework and lots of pressure. But he says he's glad he chose BYU because it is giving him the knowledge he will need in the future, when he's sitting on the other side of the table.
Having worked with them and understood the process that they go through and understanding really how they can build a business, will help me as I try to become an entrepreneur in the future and create and build businesses that are successful.
For MBA Today, Hailey Shauklas.
Both Professor Williams and McQueen say they like toe-the-line programs like Cougar Capital. They say students best learn when they are more involved and have real money on the line.
Well, Hailey, I bet they're glad it's just not their own money.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Thank you for watching. Join us next time for another edition of Marriott MBA Today.